Engage dampeners, cut into feed, begin transmission.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a Sunday Hangout here on Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. I'm Bill, your host. And let's go straight to the chat. Let's see who is here. Looks like Cobweb Collector showed up. Hello, sir. We have Shaitan's Hammer. He came in. Honor You 83 says, howdy, guys. Are you all still functioning after last night's stream with Ostradamus Toys? Barely. I am wiped, dude. I got a little bit of rest this morning, but not a whole lot. I'm trying to get some this afternoon. I got to hit to work tomorrow. We got Susudio here. She was asleep last night getting some rest, and I don't blame you. I can understand, and when you got to do it, you got to do it. We have Radical Mom here with us. That's good. See if I've got everybody here. Shaitan's Hammer likes the robot. Yeah, he's one of my new mascots along with X-Ray Boy. I don't know if I told y'all about him, but I picked him up at a truck stop a little while back when I went to West Virginia, and right here that turned me on. That's a picture of the original X-Ray Boy. He was in an ad with this robot right here for Remco Toys. So here he is. He's going to start out the show for now. So that's pretty cool. Miss Carol's here. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. The Thanos copter has come in. Hey, Thanos, good to see you. So now got it going. And got a special guest coming on today. He's getting set up. He said he would be in shortly, so whenever he gets here, I'll pop him on. What are we going to talk about today? Well, that's not going to be a long show, depending upon what all me and my special guest get to talking about. But I was just going back to Snake Mountain, and I'd watched an episode of Hebrew with Todd recently. Link down in the description if you guys want to see it. And he found an idea from another place, and let me run over here and make sure I get all this correct when I'm talking about this. About adding some the voice to the new Snake Mountain like we had in the old Snake Mountain, and there's always different ways of doing that, and we had all talked about that before this playset came out. And looking down here at the video description, Toys of a Time Gone By started this, and I've got the link to his video as well. By using a voice changer for your phone, I've got a link down there to one that you can get for the iPhone. I'm sure there's something similar for the Android, but pretty much you can either just use the phone itself, or you can get a Bluetooth speaker. I think Hebrew and shows you how to get a Bluetooth speaker. If you watch his channel and look at his description, he'll show you a place over Amazon. You get SD card, get Bluetooth speaker, use the voice changer on the phone, make some recordings of it, put it on a Bluetooth speaker, and then you can put the speaker somewhere near your Snake Mountain or in your Snake Mountain if you want to, and use that to replicate the voice of Snake Mountain. As a matter of fact, well, thank you, Susudio. There's probably not a lot I can do about Max Headroom today, and I don't have anybody here with me right now to help if I start doing that. So, a lot of that has to do with me doing other things on the computer while I'm trying to live stream. So, I would appreciate if you guys would just kind of bear with me on that. But this is the app and what it looks like, and it has some controls here at the top, and one of them is reverb. And when you get to reverb, there's this the spinner here, so you can go through different types. So you got opera house, gymnasium, cathedral, ballroom, lecture room, theater, karaoke, ballet echo, none, bathroom, living room, meeting room, studio, concert hall, and metal space. Metal space is the one that you want. And then you hit the record button and you record what you want it to do, and then you can play it back, and it sounds a little bit like this.
I am the voice of Snake Mountain.
And you can take that and you can put it on your Bluetooth speaker, or put it in an SD card, put that in the Bluetooth speaker. And you can take that and you can replicate the voice of Snake Mountain. It sounds pretty much like it too. It's got that reverb from the spring inside the mic and everything in there. So it's kind of cool. And the app costs $9.99 if you want to get the full featured app. You can use it for free if you're willing to go through the ads, grab the voices that you want off of it, and then transfer them to a Bluetooth speaker, and you're good to go. Looking over here, Cecilia says, sorry I missed last night. It's a good thing I was asleep, so I missed whatever craziness may have happened last night. Well, there wasn't a lot of craziness on my show. I think figuratively speaking came on. As you notice, Joner's not here with me. Joner's working, and he was unable to make last night's show because he had to go to bed, and he's unable to make today's show because he's at work. So figuratively speaking came on last night, and he and I had a pretty good chat. We talked about some of the toys that he was working with, and I talked about some of my toys. It's a nice little deal, and we stayed on 2 hours, and the ducks got fed right at the 2-hour mark, and we were all good and everything, and I was going to go to bed. And then I saw Ostradamus was still alive, so I went over there to hang out with Ozzy for a little bit, and then that turned into staying up till nearly 4 a.m. So just crazy. And we had a good time over there. Radical Mom says, I missed Bill too last night. I'm usually up to watch it. I'll get to replay that. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And yes, Thanos Copter, let us all curse work. Curse you, work. But it's a necessary evil because we have to have money to refer to things. So, yeah. Let's see. I was referring to at my house. You know who was on opposite you? Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't caught him live yet because I'm usually, I guess, live when he does that. It looks like he's doing some kind of, he's changed his format over there. So I don't know. Did you? Well, I might do that this afternoon after the show's over with, just to see what he's up to over there. I don't know what his format is. And apparently he's also doing a Rumble show. I saw something about that the other day, but I haven't caught the Rumble show yet either. I'm just too busy. I can't keep up with what I'm doing here with keeping up with other channels. It's kind of hard, but yeah, I hope he's going on. Okay. I don't know. I have to check it out. I think he's rebranding himself once again. I'm not sure. Watch all Bill stuff. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, what I do want to remind everyone, we're going to be doing a giveaway again in October around Halloween time, probably on our Halloween show. And I think I showed these off last night, and I showed them off last week. But once again, the giveaways this time are going to be the McFarlane Toys Superpowers Tim Drake Robin, and the Masters Universe Origins Moss Man. These are brand new figures, mint on card, never been opened. They're in great shape, and they will be available as prizes. We'll do that at probably either a wheel or duck race, or maybe duck race for one, wheel for the other. I mean, you guys let me know what y'all think in the comments after the show's over with, and I'll take all that under consideration. But yeah, so how do you get in on the fun? And I need to make a video about this. Yes, I haven't had a chance to do that. I might do that this afternoon too if I've got enough free time. But send me an email at weirdfantastictoys@gmail.com. I'll put that down here in weird fantastic toys at gmail.com. There we go. Send an email to that email address that I just popped down there in the live chat with the subject line contest and whichever item you want. Robin, Mossman. One email for Robin if you want Robin, one email Mossman if you want Mossman. Yes, if you want them both, send me 2 different emails. Hey, good to see you there, Jess. Glad you dropped in. Anyway, and down in the body, put your name and address. And also, if you don't want your name to appear on the wheel or in the duck race, put the channel name or the name that you want to appear on screen, and then I'll do that. What about a robin covered in moss? Sounds like a nice custom idea. Where we will await with bated breath to see that over on Epic Badger, and we'll see how that works out. But anyway, those are the 2 prizes. That's how you enter, and may the best man win. According to Susudio, Robin is going to be hers, and if not Robin, Mossman. If not, Mossman is hers. So she's itching to get in on that. She was one of the first ones entered the contest. I had several others. And Shaitan's Hammer says, speaking of Batman, I can't find a really good Batman that is not Mafex or Mezco. Maybe the Young Justice one. I am waiting for the McFarlane all black Estrella Batman that's going to be using the same buck that they used for the recent Detective Batman figure that we showed the other day. So I know you want a Keaton Batman. I don't know if you're looking for like a large size 1/12 scale figure, like a Mezco figure or something like that. You're probably not going to get better than Mafex. Mafex is probably the best one you're ever going to find. Pricey, but you get what you pay for. And Mafex is going to be probably the best you find. Where have I been and what have I been up to this week? It's been pretty much radio silence over here, 6-inch. Yeah, okay. It's probably going to be Mafex, man. And I'm telling you, I know you said you don't want one that you want one that's not Mafex or Mezco. Good luck on that, dude. I'm telling you, you're not going to find anything better than Mafex. That's just truism, man. What have I been up to? Radio silence from my part. I haven't been in any social media. Not that I really do that much anyway, but I've been really quiet this week. The reason for that, if you guys may have remembered, I was joking about this last Sunday and Saturday too, probably. Monday was a holiday, And Tuesday, I had to report to the courthouse to see if I was going to be on a jury. Normally, I don't get picked for such things. I did this time, and I had to sit on a high-profile murder trial for, we'll say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning. So it was 4.5, almost 5 days. And I can't talk about the particulars of what the trial was about. It breaks the community standards of the YouTubesies, and I'd get demonetized and kicked off the tubes. It was pretty rough. It's still messing with the old cranium here. So yeah, leaning towards Mayfegs. Yeah, that's probably a good lean, guy. If you want the best figure of that, you can't beat Mayfegs or Mafegs as Largo tells me that I should pronounce it. But yeah, and I think Largo would probably agree with me on that one. So, just out of curiosity, those of you who are going to get Snake Mountain or already have him, what what things are you going to do to modify your Snake Mountain? I've thought about modifications on mine. You know, I already have the lava flow here on the front. As you can see there, Beastman and He-Man are fighting in front of that lava flow. That lava flow is actually made to fit on the vintage, but I think it looks much better here on the new Snake Mountain. And of course, we see that snake up there. It's a beautiful snake. It's got the articulated jaw. The head's on a pin so that it moves around like this. And I swear I'm going to have to paint the inside of the mouth, the teeth, the eyes, possibly put a little bit of a wash on that to bring the scales out, maybe even do some line pinstriping so that it matches some of the design that was on the original snake. I'm just going to have to. I may even have to get in on that wolf over there and get his teeth painted. Got my guest has arrived. So let me go ahead and bring him into the chat here with me.
What's up, Bill?
How's it going, Cobb? You doing all right, my friend?
Yeah. Sorry, give me 1 second. I just got a phone call that I thought was going to come before this. So I'm going to answer real quick, and I'll be right back with you.
Go ahead, my friend. Got you covered. I'll take my overlay off real quick. We'll put our names up. So Cobweb Collector's with us here today, and we'll get to talking a little bit with him in just a second once he finishes this phone call. Oh man, thank you, Radical Mom. I do my best. Let's see. Thanos says I'm going to make a lava fall and a base platform for it. I thought about making a stream coming out of the bottom of that lava fall down there. You put the toy cam back up here and put me up solo for just a second so you can see what I'm talking about. Down there at the bottom, you can see right behind Evil Lynn there where the termination of the falls is. I think either a stream or a pool down there at the bottom would help kind of bring that out a little bit. But yeah, I'm probably gonna want to get up on that wolf there and get his teeth painted. The snake needs to have some details brought out on him. Probably need to figure out something to do over there with those vines hanging out of the escape cave. I'm still wondering whether I want to leave those gummy bendy chains that are up there that aren't really chains. It's a one-piece deal, and replace them with some Talos Dream Shop chains, which I do have over here. But that's going to require me applying some heat to try to pop that out because it's a permanent fixture. It doesn't pop in and out very easily, and I don't want to destroy that. I want to be able to put that back the way it was someday if I want to. So, but you know, if worst comes to worst, I may have to just cut them off and then pop those in there. Here, he's back.
Yeah, sorry about that. I thought I'd
Oh,
get
that's
that phone
okay,
call
Cobby.
before.
It's okay, Cobby. Don't worry about it. We were just talking about Snake Mountain over there and some of the things that I might want to do. You can bring that up there. You're talking about what Thanos said here.
Oh yeah, he said what's up. I was saying what's up back.
Yeah, Thanos says on his vintage he has a falls and skulls and it's pooling and then running through some ground spikes. Yeah, I'm thinking about setting up some kind of pool down there or maybe a stream coming off of the termination of the falls down there at the bottom on mine. And of course, that snake, it's just a shame they left that thing unpainted, and I was surprised that they did that. Was you surprised about that, Cobb?
Yeah, and the new one.
Yeah,
Just pretty. Yeah, it's pretty plain looking. I mean, I think the vintage one was all painted up, right?
it was. It wasn't painted up as good as I would like, but it did have it had the pinstriping down the back, and that I think that kind of brings it out a little bit.
So long since I had it, I wasn't sure, but yeah, that's what I see. I know that snake is really cool looking on the new one. It's got a lot of detail on the face and everything. It'd be cool to have just a little paint to it.
Yeah, if nothing else, the mouth, the teeth, and the eyes need to be painted. And I appreciate that, Shaitan. That backdrop, yeah, I love that backdrop. It's back here behind us right now, the same backdrop that I'm using there over on the display. It's a tapestry that one can find over on Amazon in different sizes. And there is John from Figuratively Speaking has joined us. Hello, all. He was on with me last night. Yeah, he did a video where he unboxed a gift that I sent to him recently. It was a Destro, and it had
I just watched it.
He went into the backstory on that, and I did not know that it meant that much to him. But now that I do know, I'm really glad I bought that for him and got it for him.
Yeah, I really like John a lot. Glad to see him back around.
Yes, absolutely. And anyway, so you're waiting on your Snake Mountain to get here. What have you got in store for Snake Mountain when you finally get it in your hands?
Well, just for now, making shelf space and being able to put them up there. But I'd like get like the lava, try and get some kind of lava for in the middle there. I think it looks so much better. I think what was it, Mr. Home Arcade got that one from Etsy or somewhere that looked really cool. I think he said he's gonna put it up where he ordered it from or something, or make my own or something. But I want something there in the middle.
Yeah, there's a couple of places to get it from. The place on Etsy, I think the fellow's in Taiwan, and he makes it. There's a guy on eBay that does them as well. I don't know if he has any available right now, but he is in Argentina, and I bought mine from the fellow in Argentina, and the lava fall itself is about $30, which for a 3D print, it's reasonable. I know that's a little expensive sounding to those of you who don't work in 3D printing, but it's reasonable. But to get it here,
you watch Hebrew at all? Hebrew did a nice one where some new kind of LED lights in it. It looks like that. Yeah, I was like, man,
it looks like that actually that lava flow is the one that came with the Super 7 big huge set, and it's kind of translucent so that he can add the lights behind it, and then he can put that panel behind it that's got the.
Is that what he was working on just recently?
Yeah, that's what he was working on. I watched a couple of those videos. I was actually there in the live chat for a little bit of those videos, but yeah. And
he pops on so much. I don't know which ones I've seen.
Well, he does. He doesn't do premiere videos much, and he doesn't cut videos. anymore. He just, as soon as he gets an idea in his head, he pops on live all during the day and night, in a week, and on especially on the weekend. So it's when you catch him, it's fun though. Oh, here we go, Pop Actor Rick, you freaking weirdos. Hey, Pop Actor, good to see you. No Way Farms here coming in. Hey, what's going on? I see Shaitan's Hammer has an idea here. I have a table currently stacked with puppets, which are going to be used for Snake Mountain. The puppets are going in a box. Okay, that sounds like it might be fun. Cobby, if you go to Walmart over there in the cheapy toys sections where you can buy the little plastic dinosaurs that are and stuff like that, they're in a box, all mixed together with different kinds of animals. They've got the little rubber puppets. I think I might have a couple of them over here somewhere. Yeah, here's one. I have it sitting on this little cylinder here. They have these little rubber puppets that you can that kind of might work out for you there, coming out of that hole in Snake Mountain or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen some of it for like people replaced for their Hordax layer. Dead tires.
Lava Fall, maybe.
Point Dread, but
recently they put up that poll over there on Mattel Creations about which playset they should do next. Fright Zone should be next. I agree with that.
I was trying to think of right now.
I think that's going to win it too. I think everybody wants them to do the vintage style Fright Zone first before they worry about anything else. And maybe the second one that they could work on will be a brand new playset that was never produced, the Snake Layer playset. And I always, I said, even though I voted for the Filmation Attack Track, I wanted them to know that we want that. I don't want them to discount that. But
according to like Toy Habits put up their own poll from people they had to see if people voted just like on their site or whatever, see what it was, and that's what it was. Fright Zone, I think Fright Zone first, and then or no, maybe it was the Snake Layer first, then Fright Zone.
Well, I think they ought to take care of the vintage replacement stuff first before they start doing things that were never produced. My opinion, Yeah. And of course, the Snake Layer would be a brand new playset never produced, but it's one of those fold open playsets like Grayskull and Snake Mountain. So I think it would go well with those two playsets, and it would give.
That's what I'd like to have that too, but still want the other just because it's in the vintage line. I want everything that I had as a kid, so really do kind of want that one too.
Absolutely. Let's see. I hope we're voting on order and they all get made. Yeah.
I know. I know some.
And Pop Actor Rick says he wants that Fright Zone. And what we got here? Shaitan's Hammer is saying when he saw the attack track, I knew Bill would be happy. Yeah, that's going to be a big piece of kit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford such a thing, but I would love to see anybody who would want one have the ability to get one. And
that's one that I think is really popular. Everybody's talking about the attack track, and I was like, oh, that might even win it out because that's all I was hearing about. But just going by like Toy Habits, it looks like the other two are ahead of it.
I think the snake layer needs to be made because the snakes need to have a place to live. Skeletor's Snake Mountain, not the snakes. Okay, maybe they may have lived there at one time in your play, but Skeletor's got it now. So the snakes need their own house. Skeletor's got his house, and then they can be won't have to fight over it. And Brick's in here. Good morning. Was last night's Oz stream a sleepover? Rolled right into here. Seems like it. I didn't sleep at Oz's, but I went to sleep right afterwards. I can tell you that now.
I'll tell you, I didn't get to go sleep.
Thanos. Oh wow. Thanos says,
tired.
Eternos, Crystal Palace, Hell Skull, and a playset for the Rulers of the Sun. Who knows where this thing will end? It won't be in retail, but Mattel Creations can certainly crowdfund stuff like this. They can put made to order stuff so that they don't they produce what they're going to sell and make all the monies. And so I don't know where this is going to end. It could move for quite a while. Figuratively speaking, I have a vintage attack track. I've got a vintage attack track too. That was probably one of the coolest vehicles. Oh, that's a question to think about. With that new big, huge attack track, do you think it's going to be motorized?
No, I don't think anything they're making is going to be.
No.
They can't even make the microphone for Snake Mountain.
Yeah. Let's see here what folks are saying.
Or the rip
Pop Factory Rick says he don't like the Formation attack track. He prefers vintage. A lot of people do. I remember back when I first watched that cartoon and I saw that attack track, I was like, what is this thing? And they call it attack track. I'm like, that's not an attack track. But then again, I was all about the original storyline. The cartoons came much after I had started collecting He-Man, so that was all like a whole different world to me. I stopped at 4 hours 55 and we're talking about Snake Mountain and being Skeletors, and that rolled perfectly into just now show. All right, Rick. Yeah, it did. All of this moves together, I guess, as we're moving across shows. Thanos Copter, it's all going to be crushed to death under a pile of plastic. Brick something says it won't be motorized, but it should be. Yeah. Mattel's too cheap to buy batteries, says Pop Factory Rick. Okay.
Yeah, if we can't even get the ripcord on the Ground Ripper, then
yeah, right. I agree. At least they could have put the little centrifugal thing in there so that you could sit there and do it like that right there and let go of it.
Yeah, or a pullback or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on. There's Ozzy.
He lives.
Yeah, he's it's alive. I'll send you a link there, Ozzy. You can come on and say your piece since I was on your show last night. Let me send Ozzy a link to today's stream. There you go, Ozzy. At your leisure, my friend. No pressure. So, where are the women? Yeah, I meant to talk to Ozzy about that. I've got women over here, but there's only one of them that comes on my show occasionally. I've got to figure out where he found the ladies at and how he was able to finagle them to come on his show, especially that one that was in the middle. That was kind of interesting, and of course I researched her quite a bit last night before I went to bed. Haha. No. Yeah. Ozzy.
Talk about women in the Motu line.
We're talking about women in the live stream last night. Brick something as long as somebody takes a pic and posts it for me to finish my Instagram. Speaking of risque, you need to check out Fisto Friday over there on Thanos Copter's Instagram and Hump Day Wednesdays over there. He's got some stuff going on with the action figures too, man. You need to get a OnlyFans for your action figures, Thanos. I think you can make some money, Jack. A Toy Tuber Cinematic Universe. No way, dancing women. I don't know if she dances or not, but she's got an OnlyFans. Wait a minute, I'm a woman, and I know what a woman is. I know you do, Studio, and I said that you're here, and you have been on my show. Ozzy says he's clapping at Thanos there, yeah. Yeah, they are. What would Thanos say here? After I get banned from Instagram, that's the plan. I got you. You're gonna get banned from Instagram eventually because I know that they're gonna crack down on that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's plastic. It's not like I don't know how that works. Here, Ozzy.
Yeah, I don't know the rules and regulations on there, but
I have no idea what the Insta rules are
I'm
over
always
there.
supporting
Here,
Thanos. I'm like, go for it, put it out there.
let's bring Ozzy in here. There
Morning,
he
Jeff.
is.
Morning, everybody in the chat. Good to see y'all.
Oh, thank you, Susie, for the super sticker. I just got
Gotta love that.
a super sticker here. Oh, Brick something says don't be creepy. Says Brick something. Okay, and Brick also said Silver Kayla of Silver K. She's up on the Geek the F Out channel and great geeky channel for Star Trek stuff. Yeah, and don't be creepy. He says that's right. I'm not being creepy. I'm just saying. I checked it out, and I'm kind of jealous of Ozzy having such high profile ladies there on his channel, and I'm trying to figure out how he managed to finagle that, because normally us geeks don't have such high profile ladies hanging out in our channels.
Honestly, I'm just me, and they're great ladies. They enjoy coming on talking about Motu and toys and all things geeky and nerdy, and I always appreciate having them on the chat and having their say about what we're talking about. I
Absolutely.
mean, everybody knows my hangouts. Everybody's welcome. We don't discriminate. I don't allow like any kind of bad talking in the chat and stuff like that. I got the mods out there. If anybody says anything out of line, they can handle it. And it's just how it is, man. I mean, if they feel like it's a safe space for them to come on and jump in and chat and hang out for a couple hours, I'm glad they feel that way and join us.
Absolutely. But I'm still a little jealous there. Ozzy. That you got
It's all right, Bill.
you got
You're a legend, yourself, and you have plenty of great guests and everything like that. And as our channels all grow, and then we'll always have all kinds of people coming in. So
Pop
that's
Actors
the best
wants Pop Actor wants your sis on.
part. That's all up to her. If she ever feels comfortable to it, she's welcome. She has jumped on, because sometimes we'll do those patron live streams where we'll go live for patron exclusives, and she jumped on and joined live on the patrons. So a Pop Actor wants a chance. She
You got your answer there from the source there. She says no.
just straight no. She has joined us with her voice on the patron live streams. That was fun. It was good to have her.
And of course, Pop
And
Actor's
great
letting
advice
her
to the
know.
community.
Pop Actor says, "I'm your number one fan, Carol." Let's see. She says when Pop Actor goes live, at least I was live just before Just Voice, which is more than I can say for you.
There you go. See? That was a fun live stream because my sister lives in another state and we don't get to see each other or interact as often. Getting together on these on the live streams on the channels has been a great way for her and I to reconnect now that we're much older and bond and get closer together through collecting, which has been amazing. I absolutely love it.
I'm trying to think, was that before me? Carol might have beat me to being on live. I can't remember if Carol did that before I ever went live with you or not.
No, it was after.
It
was after.
Because I remember when she was, but I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, maybe she beat me to being live too. I'll have to ask her.
And so, just for those who may not know who Ozzy is, he has his own channel over there. Now, Ozzy, you kind of started off kind of guesting on various different channels before you kind of got your channel off the ground. Tell those who may not know a little bit of something about yourself and your channel and how it got started.
Well, yeah, I mean, it really all started. I just used to watch people's streams a couple years ago. Origins started, man. And that was the start of everything all over again for me. He-Man and Skeletor. Buddy of mine got them for me for Christmas. I started getting back into toys. I was watching channels like Scott Nutlick and seeing him do those commentaries on classics. And then through his channel, I ended up finding GDL with the debate that, you know, we all fondly laugh at. And I started watching like Toy Anxiety and you know, of course, Mega J Retro and Toy Connections. And I found Skelevator's channel because I was looking up some custom playsets. It's actually how I found you, Bill, and your custom Castle Grayskull as well.
Right.
But through finding Skelly and joining his lives, there wasn't a whole lot of people in his lives. It was mostly myself and just like maybe one other person or two other people. And he had posted about doing he wanted somebody who managed to get a $1 to film a review of the figure and send it to him so he could post. And, you know, somebody in the chat mentioned we could do a live stream. And so we decided once it came in, we'd set a date and we'd start doing a live stream. Now, we used to do Toy Frenzy on Saturday nights. And that's how that show started. And then, you know, getting closer and talking with Mega J. Mega J had me on his channel. And eventually, I just, you know, through the encouragement of several people, I decided I should start doing my own channel and doing my own thing. So it was right around this time last year, I was gearing up for it, heading right into October is when I finally went live solo for the first time. And I used to do Monday nights. There's a lot of competition between football season and wrestling on Mondays. And well, Skelly ended up wanting to switch his streams to Thursdays or do the Toy Frenzy thing on Thursdays so he'd have more time with the family on the weekends. And I think it was it might have been Duchess who had mentioned, she goes, man, I wish you guys still did something on Saturdays. And I was like, well, I've been thinking about changing the night I go live to see if I get a better turnout. And then I started doing Saturdays, and then a legend eventually was born out of it. You know, friggin' mega streams every Saturday night. You never know who's going to show up or for how long we're going. Like last night, man. That set the record, you know, 6 hours, almost 6.5 hours last night. It was pretty cool. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's been a huge year. A lot of growth on the channel. It's been really good. Matter of fact, you know, just over this weekend, I'm just shy of the 300 mark finally, which I wasn't sure if I was ever going to hit, but I've always said, like, I don't really care how big the channel gets. As long as I'm having fun hanging out with friends, talking about toys like you guys, it don't matter how big the channel gets. I just love being able to do this with you guys and share our passion. And, you know, what a great thing that toys, you know, have brought us all together, you know?
Absolutely. And
thank you, Brick.
I wouldn't be doing anything if it wasn't for Oz either. Oz pushed me to get started.
The toy community in the past year and a half has really grown in a special way because it's a lot closer than what it was, I guess, pre-Coof, you know. Where it was just a bunch of big guys doing their thing, and now all of us little guys are in there getting our little piece of the pie too, and kind of making our own little inroads and communities in here. So it's kind of neat, and it's close. It's really close. And
it is.
A lot of us have a pretty good repertoire with one another, and are able to DM one another. And as you can see, I got these two guys straight off of DMs on Instagram. I said, hey, you guys want to come on? Sure. And so boom, here they are.
Yeah, that's really how it is.
Mm-hmm. And you know, my start was kind of interesting. I know my folks have heard it before, but I'm happy to repeat it for those who may not know. I started with just a blog a long time ago. That's 2013. I don't know if that's a long time ago or not, about 10 years ago. And it started out as just me doing some sea monkeys. I was just doing a daily update on how my sea monkey experiments were doing. And I wanted a place to put some videos of the sea monkeys. So I made a YouTube channel and put up some videos of sea monkeys on it. Over time, that evolved to the blog being a toy only blog, or a pop culture with toys blog, Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. Same thing. I changed the name of the YouTube channel so I could put videos for the blog over here as a storage space in my mind. Well, right around the time that Origins started getting really popular and started getting off the ground, I made a little video showing off my Origins collection with some old Filmation music behind it for the blog. And damn, the thing went kind of viral. I got like 25,000 views in just a couple of days on that here on the YouTube. And I thought, well, I'll start, doing a few more videos, maybe some stop motion stuff or pseudo stop motion stuff, basically having the figures reenact some of the stuff that the toys were doing in their storybooks. And the toys reenact the storybooks. Those got popular. And then I think someone encouraged me to live stream. I was afraid to show my face at the time. And I met Grindhead Jim. And that kind of spurred me to come on over here and begin actually doing this. And there was someone else who inspired me. I won't name names, but he's still around too. I don't interact with him much anymore at all. But he did inspire me to try to up my production value game over here. I don't know if I'm doing a very good job of it or not, but I'm trying my best.
You do what you can. It's not always easy to, afford getting new equipment and everything else. And, with internet the way it is, depending on who you can get as an internet service provider and how strong a strength is, there's a lot that really goes into live streaming with that stuff that people don't realize when they try to start out. But you learn as you go. The biggest thing that I can mention to anybody who's interested in trying to get a YouTube channel off the ground, stay consistent is the number one thing. Stay consistent. I'm not going to lie. I watched at least 50 or 60 videos about how to start a successful YouTube channel. And it's funny because that's what I named my very first episode. My very first live stream was how to start a successful YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. The one thing that really took away from that was just be consistent. Everything else, it was just all the guys posting videos like that. I think they all wanted to sit around in a circle jerk and listen to their own voices. It's really what I got for most of that, but be consistent, stay regular with it, post content regular, and people will find your stuff. If you're doing this just to get that instant viral, sensation or whatever like that, that is lightning in a bottle if you can catch it. But it's yourself.
I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. There are some guys who have this special way they can put up 10 videos and get 25,000 followers in 5 days. I've seen it happen. I'm not that person. But however, what I do have is I have a set group of followers that come around all the time and consistently watch my content.
That's right.
I've done something. I'm backwards. Everybody else gets their followers way before they get their view time. I've had the view time all along. I'm just trying to get enough followers to get to 1,000. So I have no problem with the viewing hours, none whatsoever. And Susudio, I want to speak to this. Susudio says that she likes to have a space that feels comfortable and safe for someone her age, and she's probably correct. She is the oldest one here. And she is a very special person to me. Okay. And she kind of mentioned something that happened a long time ago when I first started live streaming, and Oz can attest to that. This is the kind of stuff that can happen when you first start out and you don't really know how to control things. If you send out the link to your StreamYard live in your live chat, you don't know who you're getting. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good way to meet new people and fun friends, I admit. But there's
Yep.
a slight chance that you're going to get something in there that's not what you want. And that's what happened. That person was, I think, either abusing alcohol or drugs or both. And he came in and he insulted my friend Susudio, and I didn't know how to handle that at the time, and I do now. And so Susudio, like I said, is a very special friend of mine. And yes, this is a nice, safe space for anyone.
Yep. And that's what's important, because you don't get these conversations if you don't have that kind of environment,
I love that brick.
Thanks, Brick. I appreciate it.
That's why I wrote him back.
3 whole followers in 2 days, guaranteed. Yeah, I bet.
Hey, man, 3 followers, and some days I'll go a week without getting a new one. So 3 followers in 2 days is always appreciated. This weekend, the channel's shown significant growth, though. Actually, I was it going into this weekend, I had like 283, and as after last night, I jumped up 10 people. So I got to be doing something right last night. I know a lot of times, a 6-hour live stream, that's hard to digest. It's hard for people to sit down and dedicate that kind of time to, what we do. So anytime people can do it.
When you're doing a marathon like that, you have to realize that there's going to be those who move in and out of that. They're going to come in, hang out a little while, move on to somewhere else, and they may even come back and hang out some more before they move on to something else. And that's the same way with those guys. I know some guys that are gamers, and they do the late night game streams where they're playing games, and those can go on for hours and hours and hours.
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny
too. Last night, because when I jumped off the stream, I went to go outside for a minute, and then I was gonna like the video, and I was like, oh dang, we went up to subscribers since we started.
And my friend John at World Made of Cardboard has a YouTube channel. If you guys have not seen it, you're missing out on something here. A World Made of Cardboard is all about making paper crafts. Not only just the ones that come already made in the little books that you can see, but he makes his own and puts the PDFs up so that you can follow along with him in his channel and make what he has made. And some of those are outstanding. He made an alien landscape one that had different little cardboard pieces that were in it, like a teleportation chamber and all that kind of stuff. You just have to go over there and check it out. But he says it's a very niche corner of the YouTube world, but it is probably one of the most fun channels that's out there. And John, are you still just showing your hands and not your face, and not even talking on those? I hope that you've gotten to the point to where you will at least narrate your own. But he's been on the channel with me before. He does show his face when he comes on live with me, and he's a real cool guy. So if you guys haven't checked out World Made of Cardboard, please go and do. And Brick will attest that a World Made of Cardboard is a gem of a channel. It absolutely is.
Yeah, you gotta love, and that's the great thing, because quite a few of us will call it Toy Tube. It's its own niche little section of YouTube. It really is. And most of our channels, we get to know one another, like you were saying, Bill, and we've all become a lot closer over the last year. But it is such a small section of YouTube, because we're not going out there for, again, like pop viral hits or anything like that. I don't think there's any one toy channel that is so successful that any toy tuber can affectionately say that they're doing this full time. I think Jay, Geek Dad Life, he's probably about the closest. Probably him and Mega J is doing this as a full time gig. That's because Mega J he does freelance work, and then Jay had gotten laid off for a while there. So like again, it's just one of those things like. You don't necessarily go into this for the money because your audience is not going to be big enough or wide enough for that. And, you can really find your own corner of ToyTube with as many different kinds of toys as there are. There are people out there with channels just about dolls and that kind of thing. A world made of cardboard is absolutely astounding. The idea of all of those different paper and cardboard worlds. I know people who make cardboard dioramas, and then you look at it after they're done, and it's like, that does not look like it should be made out of. Bud did a great one a couple of months back where he made a whole computer console out of cardboard scraps, and then managed to also put on there like swappable computer screens on the computer console too. And that was
I did.
that was really fun.
I think I did a trouble alert for my Hall of Justice playset.
Yeah.
Superpowers, and it was made. It was a paper craft Hall of Justice, and it had the swappable screens on it as well. And as a matter of fact, Sir Clifton got one of those with his Supermobile as a extra gift for being a special person to me. And I kind of liked it. I liked it that he won that Supermobile because the Supermobile was the one item missing in his Superpowers collection.
Well, that's fantastic. And Sir Clifton, he is another one who has just come a long way starting his channel, and he had a lot of hang-ups at first, but he's worked through it, and he's out there and he's still trying to, and we all keep growing and learning from one another.
Really good dude too. I like Sir Clifton a lot.
And my friend George Valentine says he kind of gave up on trying to do YouTube for a while and never showed his face because he has the face for radio. But he might try YouTube again sometime.
What's funny too is I never really thought of my voice as anything special. And right around the time I started to watch YouTube, get into YouTube, I was friends with a couple people, and I'd sent a voice message, and they said, "Oh man, you got a really good voice. You should be doing," and they recommended doing narrations on YouTube. And I was like, "Nah, it's not really my kind of cup of tea. I appreciate the whole thing." And it was like just a few months after that is when I started doing my own toy YouTube, and it's like, yeah, so I guess it is my cup of tea. And I work using the phone all day, and I will get people telling me, like, you have a great voice. You should do radio, or you should do this. And I'm just like, well, I kind of got a podcast thing going on, but I don't get into the whole, we talk about toys and everything. I'm not giving that business out to the people. I'm just randomly getting on the phone.
Brick had a point here. Brick says, if I somehow turn the YouTube thing into a source of income, I'd probably ruin it for myself because it would lose its fun.
It would.
You tend to start, once you begin using it as a source of income, it begins to become work. And even if you enjoy the job that you're doing, it's still work.
Still work, right?
Yeah, and no matter how much you enjoy doing the job you do, you get sick of doing work. You don't want to do work; you want to do fun, and work doesn't tend to be fun.
Exactly.
And that's Radical Mom. She sees that we're having fun, and that's what it's all about. And that is what it's all about. So
that's right.
And I always said, as soon as it ceases to be fun, I'm probably going to cease to do it.
That's right. Exact same thing. The moment that YouTube and I hope it never gets to that point, but the moment this stops becoming fun is when I walk away from it, because then I have just got to roll. And Everything's Plastic, Collectibles and Reviews, that's another great channel right there.
Yeah, I
At
just
Mr.
started
Chris,
watching
as a
him
matter of fact,
long ago.
he got monetized here recently with this, I guess, the same monetization light that I have. And he has channel memberships open, and I became his first member last night.
Fantastic. Excellent job.
And the Melvor is here. Hey, Melvor, good to see you. He says, nerds just want to have fun. That's right.
Sure. We want
he
to
said
have
that in Cindy Lauper. Nerds just
I'm
want to
back
have
in
fun.
It's so true too. We just want to have a place where we can all get together and nerd out with one another. You know, because we've all come through a part. Being what they consider a nerd or a geek has become a little bit more mainstream and a lot more acceptable. But when most of us were growing up, you didn't share these kind of things with other people because that would get your ass whipped.
Oh, yeah. The bullet that beat you up because you're still playing with toys and you're like 12 years old. Yeah, I get it. I can remember
It was a much different world at the time with how this was looked at.
I was in the I want to say I'm like between 11, 12 years old, maybe getting close to 13, which is kind of really too old to be doing this. And I'm down on the living room floor with Batman and Robin and the Superpowers Batmobile, and I'm pushing it along. And this girl, she was probably a senior in high school, and she was working for the florist in town, and she was bringing some flowers to my grandmother, and she came and knocked on the door. And I saw her out there, and I'm like, did she see me down here playing my toy? I'm grab my toy and run off from my room and hide.
Yep. It's true, man. Like you kept it sheltered, you kept it hidden. So it's nice that we've all reached an age where we just really, really don't care. And we've found so many others that are just like us. Like I know growing up, if you'd put us all around at like the same school or something like that, we'd have been calling each other up to go have, adventures and we'd all been running, taking our action figures back in the woods and having all kinds of epic battles and stuff with our toys. And truly, I think it would have been a blast. But now here we get this beautiful invention of the internet, and it's grown to a point where we can all connect and relate. And it started back with like message boards and forums, because that's where a lot of these communities started long before YouTube was even a thing.
Yeah, I can remember hanging out over there on those forums that were on the Masters of the Universe website. What was that
Yep.
called? The He-Man.org.
He-Man.org.
Yeah,
That was the big one. Yeah, most of us. It's funny. We all probably, because as we've grown too, some of us have changed names and internet handles over the years. We probably all met and talked to each other through comments and forums back then and didn't realize it. Now here we all are meeting and hanging out on YouTube together.
Suicidio wonders if anyone even watches. I guarantee you they would. All you have to do is come on and narrate some of the stories that you've told us on late night about your life, your experiences. Put them together in small doses, 10 to 20-minute packages, and you put that up on YouTube, and I guarantee you you will gain an audience.
That's right. And if you don't want to, you don't ever have to show your face. I know there are a lot of successful YouTube channels out there, especially in the narration community, where those guys never show their face or reveal, and they've got like millions of subscribers, well beyond even what anybody in our community has. And I even, when I say our community, I'm speaking of people with the bigger channels like Secret Galaxy and Pixel Dan even. Like, there is a community out there for you if you wanted to start your own YouTube channel. And I know several of us, the toy community is probably one of the most supportive across different styles of channel. Bringing up those narrators, Duchess of Darkness, she has a horror narration channel. Mm-hmm. And when she does her premiere videos on Wicked Wednesday, it almost looks like it's a toy stream because of how many of us are all in there watching her stuff.
Right. And she comes and watches our stuff. And
yep.
I I don't know if she collects toys or not. I think she just likes hanging out with us. But I mean, I'm glad to have her. She's a wonderful person.
Well, she enjoys hanging out with all of us, and she does have collections. Because I met her before I started with the ToyTube community in a lot of ways. Meeting her,
you kind of brought her over here, didn't you, Ozzy?
Yeah. She was one of those ones that really encouraged me to start doing YouTube and do my channel. She was the one that was telling me I should start doing the narrations. She was one of them. But we used to watch a particular narrator who we all bonded through his live chats when he would do live streams, and got together in a group on Reddit. And then Duchess, said that she was going to start doing her own content, and she started posting her narrations, and we were showing up and helping her build her channel. And then I started doing my thing, and she started finding all of our different channels through that. And now it's like there's a lot of this cross between her community and our community within that. And it is great. It's fantastic. So, Susudio, there's no time like the present. Just start doing it. Put something out there. There's another fantastic toy tuber that's just really started getting his feet wet and YouTube over the last couple of months. Our good friend Payne's Toy Samples. I appreciate you being here, brother. Always good to see you.
Darkness prevails, says Shaitan.
That's
Hammer, yes.
Darkness Prevails is another good narrator. Absolutely.
Well, guys, if you don't mind, I need to take a quick break, but I have something that we can listen to in the meantime. This is our friend Tila, and I don't know if you knew that Tila has a wonderful singing voice or not, but here she is with Fisto, and they're going to sing a little song for us. So we're going to take a quick break, if you guys don't mind, and we'll watch this while we take our break.
Ready? 2, 3. What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Early in the morning. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Early in the morning.
Shave his belly with a rusty razor. Shave his belly with a rusty razor. Shave his belly with a rusty razor. Early in the morning.
Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Early in the morning. Put him in a lumber till he's sober. Put him in a lumber till he's sober. Put him in a lumber till he's sober. Early in the morning. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Early in the morning. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Early in the morning.
Stick him in a scupper with a hose pipe on him. Stick him in a scupper with a hose pipe on him. Stick him in a scupper with a hose pipe on him. Early in the morning.
Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Early in the morning. Give him a dose of salt and water. Give him a dose of salt and water. Give him a dose of salt and water. Early in the morning. Way, hey, oh, way, hey, oh, way, hey, oh, early in the morning.
That's what we do with the drunken sailor. That's what we do with the drunken sailor. That's what we do with the drunken sailor. Early in the morning.
Way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises, early in the morning. Way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises, early in the morning. Way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises, early in the morning.
That is a classic, Bill. Absolute classic.
Man, Becky
Thank you, sir.
Lynch with the bagpipes. That's amazing.
That's Piper Alley.
Yeah, I was
Right.
Piper Allen and Mia Sano there guesting on that video, put some background music in it. Yeah. Red Mom said I had her up and dancing around on that one.
There we go. You know, it's really fun again what you can do with your toys, and we're as much as we have our old ways of playing with toys too, we find so many new ways now to play with these toys and different inventive things that you can do now. So, just toys are fun, people. If you're not having fun with your toys, I'd say it's probably the only way to do this thing wrong.
Yeah. Hey, and I don't knock those who don't take their toys out of their packages either.
Oh,
They're
no.
playing with them in a different way. They're playing with them in what's called the display
That's right.
package, where you put your toys on display in package. And what's really nice is the Masterverse figure line is collector friendly. You can take the figures out and play with them. You can put them back in the package, and they look
Very
just
easy
like
to put back in.
put them right back on your display, just like
Yep.
that. And
Yep.
from what I understand, all the new figures coming from Mattel Creations are going to be on display friendly packaging, where you can take the bubble off and put it back on.
Yep, they're all going to have that collector-friendly packaging, as they call it, and I can't get enough of that stuff. I opened up Fangor last night, and it's great. I can put them back up in the package. I'm not going to, but I also didn't have to rip or destroy that card to get them out of the box, because these cards are just pure artwork.
Absolutely, or do something like I had to do with my Wondar, where you take the X-Acto knife and go around the top of the bubble,
Cut around the
and then
edge,
get a bubble
yeah.
packet that you had, and set it on top of that so you can put it back in. I learned that one from Hebro, but
Yep.
different ways that you want to collect, and no way is wrong except if you're not having fun.
That's right. If it's stressing you out for one reason or another, and you're not having fun with it, that's the only way to do this thing wrong.
Absolutely. And I know that there are those in the toy community. I've met them, I've talked to them. They've allowed it to become burdensome to them. If it does, take a break. There's nothing wrong with taking a break.
Take a break, adjust your collection so that it is enjoyable.
And Studio says toys, albums, posters, and collecting pop culture is what she likes. Oh, and she likes classic cars as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think she still wants a 66 Batmobile. Now, if I'm not mistaken, knowing Studio, that would be a 66 Batmobile that she can drive down to the store and come back home in. Not a 66 Batmobile like I have, which is not this big. And it wouldn't, I think Jerry Lawler's got one, but according to Sir Clifton, when Mr. Benny, his dad, went and looked at it, it wasn't in that good a shape. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But so what have you got going on over there, Ozzy, this coming week?
Not too much out of the norm. I know this upcoming Thursday, we got another exciting episode of Toy Frenzy. We're going to be hanging out with Skelly and Bobby and, Adam Battle Ram blog. He'll be joining in with us. That has been another really cool thing about this adventure. So many people that I used to just look up to and never thought I'd ever meet in person. And then over the last couple of, over the last year and the last couple of months specifically, especially with PowerCon, I had to meet so many of these individuals. And that was really cool. And including not just doing a show with Battle Ram blog, who has been a huge informative resource to me over the years, but now meeting him in person at PowerCon and getting to spend some time with him, meeting his family. That's incredible. That was really cool. So, we got that show coming up Thursday. Next Saturday night, be doing another Hangout stream where you never know what we'll get into unboxing or playing around with and just, hanging out and having a good time.
Now,
And
speaking of unboxings, I need to go back and rewatch last night's stream, but I'm not going to watch the whole 6 hour shabacle. So I kind of need to know what the time stamp is on the time when you actually opened up the package that I sent you. Because if you don't mind, I would like to grab a piece of that video and maybe incorporate it over here in some way to say, hey, this is my friend Ozzy who won this toy, and here's him opening it up.
yeah, sure. I'll go through the recording and I'll see if I can segment that clip out specifically for you. I know it takes a while, so I might have to edit out some other chunks to make it more one cohesive chunk. As you know, because as we're doing things, somebody else will chime in and say something. We'll go off on that. You know how these tangents go. But definitely, I'd be happy to get you them clips. I know I got to start sitting down and going through some of these streams, especially the Legions class ones, because Brick had an idea of doing like cliff notes for Legions class and making little shorts and stuff. And wanted to get up there on that channel. So we'll have another episode of that coming up real soon too on my channel, the Legions class, and that's always a fun stream too. If you guys want to get into Mythic Legions or at least want to learn about Mythic Legions or Cosmic Legions, it's a great resource. Come check it out.
Absolutely. And Cecilia wants to know if I saw that picture of the Mystery Machine van that she took a picture of in a parking lot somewhere here a while back. Yes, I did. It was looked like the Mystery Machine van that we saw from the live action movie.
Nice.
But, it was pretty cool. And what Brick something say here? Let's do it. And that was per Thanos copter too. Okay. And Shaitan's Hammer gave me some love there. He said that Bill is his me. I'm his Motu lore master. Well, I can't hold a candle to Adam. I can tell you that now because Adam is my go-to lore master for all things Motu, and of course he covers it broadly. He covers everything. I'm more specific into original storyline and incorporating those ideas into my play pattern. But and whenever I do my videos, I will do it from that point of view before I incorporate other things into it. But tell you what, and Adam is my source.
True.
None of us have PhDs in Motu lore, but if there were such a thing, Adam would have it. Okay, and we're all referencing, the man. That's why he is the man.
Right. His hard work is what gave me the knowledge I have, and I know there are people that come to me as a source for Masters Universe lore. They're like, "How do you know so much?" It's always like, "Well, Battle Ram blog, Power and Honor Foundation."
And Shaitan's Hammer says he sort of wants to get into the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom.
You should.
You guys have been collecting that, have you not? I know you have, Ozzy.
No, I actually have not. I am just really, really into it from afar. I have not crossed the threshold of buying one yet because I know if you want somebody who's into it, Brick something and Adam Highly Articulated are the two top spokespeople when it comes to Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. And I swear to God, because of those guys, I will end up buying one of them. It's going to turn into a whole Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions because I had refrained from that for so long until Figure Obscura came out with the damn Headless Horseman. And then my buddy Sean from Legends of Grayskull podcast ended up helping me out obtain one of those. And after I got that thing in hand, I was like, we should do a stream talking about Mythic Legions. And then Sean sent me some spares, parts, and a figure that he had. And I'm playing with it in one video while we're talking. It was like the very first Legions class. I don't even think we called it Legions class, that first one. And then next thing I know, like, I'm in. Like, now I'm buying all kinds of different stuff when it comes to the Legions. The Four Horsemen just do such astounding work. But AWOC and what Jason's doing with those with Spiro Toys, it's another game-changing line when it comes to these action figures because you don't get articulation like that from very, very few Hasbro lines or Marvel Legends is about the closest you can get with a good Spider-Man figure, I think, to just how amazingly well articulated those figures are. And yeah, everything Brick's saying right there, they
Brick,
are phenomenal.
I know this is spur of the moment, but I'm not an Animal Warriors of the Kingdoms collector. I'm kind of like Ozzy. I look at it from afar and watch the channels who do it. But you're our expert on the spot here. I'm going to send you a DM if you want to come on and talk about a walk. I'll give you that chance. So I'm going to see if I can do that. Brick.
Yeah, I'd started seeing those pop up right around the time I started getting more into toys again with Origins, and they popped up on Instagram. Them and like Savage Crucible, both around the same time, started popping up on my feed on Instagram, and I just started it. And nothing had come out yet. Both of these were still very early stages with prototypes and all. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, these things are amazing. And I kind of kept following them. And I, big thanks, big shout out to Brick and Adam both for pulling me deeper into the lore. Adam was the one that introduced me to the idea that they had a comic, and he even put it up on one of his streams. Like the digital version was on sale like $2. And so I immediately like jumped and went ahead and purchased and started reading the comics and stuff. Like, and Jason is doing it right. Let's face it, we all love Masters of the Universe. And one of the things that hooked you in was that little mini comic that gave you that little piece of the story outside of the cartoon. And it was, again, it was always a small chunk of the story, but it was really cool. You always had a different one packed in with the figures. Not quite like how it is today, where you get one comic per wave. You had one comic per figure back then. It was a decent comic. It was a mini comic book. Between that and doing the TV show, like He-Man just took my media by storm as a kid. I couldn't even read yet, but looking at all the pictures in the mini comic was like, wow. And I'm glad that that's something they continue.
I don't know if I've ever told you this story or not, but how old was I? I was probably 10, 11, 12, 1982. So I guess I was 11 years old, getting close to 12. Then it's how my birthday is in September. But anyway, I was visiting my sister, and my sister was 15 years older than I was, so she was grown and married. But I was visiting with her, and she lived in another state. And she had a friend of hers from church who had a little boy who was just a little bit younger than me. And she had gone over to visit this lady and had taken me with her. And this little boy was in his playroom with his toys, and he had some stuff that I did not have. At the time, I was Superpowers fan, and I had the figures, but I did not have the Hall of Justice playset. He had a Hall of Justice playset in there, and I'm like, "This is cool. I want to go in there and play with that." So I'm in there playing with that. But he also had these Muscle Man figures, and I didn't know what they were. And one of them had a skeleton face, and he was blue, and the other one was, like a Conan barbarian, but he had blonde hair. And I was like, "What are these?" And he handed me the storybooks that came with the figures. And I read the first story, and I read the second story, and I was looking at that Alfredo Alcala artwork, and I was hooked. And on the way home, I begged my sister to take us by Toys R Us, and I went in and I bought my first He-Man figure, and it was He-Man himself that day. And that's how I got into He-Man back in the day.
Yeah.
Lots of fun.
And what a time, too. What a time, man. Like,
well, it absolutely, it was lightning in a bottle. And this was before the cartoon series came out. So the only storyline that I had was that little storyline that came with those 4 storybook comics that came with the first wave of figures.
That's right. And man,
and at the time, the first wave was actually in split up in half. If you guys remember that, the first things that came out were He-Man, Skeletor, Beastman, and Man at Arms. And I think Battle Cat, Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, it was very limited for the first couple that came out that year. And then it was a couple months later, you got the second part with, because it was 6 figures in that first initial wave, because you also had Merman.
Yeah, Merman and Stratos and Tila came out later. Yeah, there we go. And Zodak.
Yep. Yeah.
So the ones that were up there on the top came out first, and the ones that were down there on the bottom came out a little later in the year towards Christmas, I think, because I remember there was a toy store in the mall, and it wasn't KB Toys, but it was a toy store that was in a mall in Memphis. And I remember going in there because I liked going in there because they had a nice section of role playing material in there, like Dungeons and Dragons and whatnot. And I remember going by the counter at the front of the store, and they had a T-Law figure there. And I was like, "Ooh, T-Law, that's the figure that I've been waiting to have, because we need to have T-Law so that He-Man can have someone to save and whatnot." And I think I ended up getting the T-Law figure instead of getting Dungeons and Dragons that day. So,
Right. And you also had, too, with it, the first vehicle, the Battle Ram itself. The jet sled and the Battle Ram, first vehicle. Battle Cat was the first mount. But, the Battle Ram came out that year. It was a really good, impressive year for a start to a new toy line that had never been around before. Closest point of reference anybody would have had to it would have been the Conan movie was out by that time. But most kids didn't get to see Conan the movie because it was rated R. Yeah. And then there's that whole controversy with that. But,
I wanted to go see Conan, and I wasn't allowed to go see Conan because it was rated R. And yes, back in those days, people didn't take their young children to go see R-rated movies.
Oh, I got to see a couple at home that my dad would watch and allow me to sit down and watch. But, if boobs popped up on the screen or something like that, there was the hand over the eyes kind of thing, or don't watch this, and be like, okay. We just kind of did. But I remember at a very young age watching some of my first horror movies was Aliens, Predator, Halloween, the Nightmare on Elm Street series and stuff. Uh-oh.
It's funny.
Oh, I recognize. Oh, there it is. The Osbrick itself.
What's going on, Brick? Good to have you.
Good morning. I didn't mean to interrupt the Masters of the Universe.
No, it's okay.
That memory lane.
No, I asked you in here for a specific purpose. We were discussing the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, and you are being our on-the-spot expert. May not be the best expert in the world, but you're the best expert that is here right now today. And so
that's the one you're stuck with.
I wanted you to come in and speak on that just for a little while, if you don't mind, sir. And because I know that there's some of my people over here, like Shaitan's Hammer, is interested in it but doesn't know a lot about it, and I'm interested in it and I don't know a lot about it either. So maybe you can bring us up to speed on it.
Anything I know about kind of right here.
Yeah, there's a running joke. You mentioned AWOC, and it's like either Adam or I'll pop up. And also Kato's collection, Inu Tabi, they do great. They do this sort of official Animal Warriors of the Kingdom podcast, so check that out. But part of the reason I love talking about it is because, like, when this whole thing started, man, there just wasn't enough attention from my perspective. It's like anthropomorphic animals, which is like right up my bag. I've kind of made some jokes about what people kind of joke about it being sort of, oh yeah, it's just basically Thundercats or it's just Planet of the Apes. I was like, no. I'm not gonna do that to Bill here, but it's way more than that. Let me grab some figures real quick.
Sure. He's going to show us off some figures and maybe even get us in on the lore a little bit, because I want to know a little bit about the lore. Look at that figure, folks. Beautiful.
So this isn't even a main character, but this is Tiberius. And so just to give you a sense of what's going on here, man, we're talking like tigers, right? Beautiful deco. This is what I was saying in the live, in the chat. Just the deco on these things are fantastic. The sculpts are solid. But what I love for a domestic figure, because I love checking all sorts of figures out, is the articulation. And I know you can achieve some of this stuff on like I love classified figures.
Yep.
Marvel Legends too. They do some really cool stuff, but like particularly classifieds with that butterfly, and there's some really. But to think that an indie is able to do some of this stuff, I mean, you could recreate Broadway's Cats with these figures alone, man. But they got weapons, and
Right.
they know kung fu and they knew ninjutsu and all this other stuff that's much cooler than Andrew Lloyd Webber stuff. So I love it, man. So there's I'll talk lore while I grab figures.
Sure.
People assume it's a sword and sandals kind of thing, right? But it's more of it's actually deeply science fiction. So I know I'm mixing stuff in, but I just have them at hand. So if you want the quick version, and people say, oh, you're spoiling it, but I'm not, because it's literally maybe the first 7 pages of the comic book, which people have mentioned. $2 for the digital comic book right now over at spirotoys.com, or you can try and order some of the hard copies. Most of them are out, and they're currently working to get a publisher. They did this all in-house. Spiro Toys, Jason Bienvenu, working with artist Utama Prasta, put together this sort of second version of the comic. If you're like me and super into like the idea of people doing it themselves, whether it's that punk rock DIY mentality or that sort of like indie spirit or that entrepreneurial spirit, that's Jason, man. Jason did multiple Kickstarters before he kind of was successful. Finally did it for his first version of the comic book. Did some 3.75-inch versions of Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Really cool figures, but pretty quickly he realized, oh man, like there's a lot of cool stuff happening in 6-inch, 7-inch. What can I do? And so he redid the comic book, worked with Utama to do some newer sort of designs. This is what we have here. They launched the comic book and then these figures at the same time. One of those record-breaking indie toy Kickstarters, but that's when I kind of came around. I was like, man, these things are amazing. How come more people aren't talking about it? I'm watching, whether it's, I won't name names because I don't want to feel called out, but I was watching these awesome shows and no one's talking Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. I was like, come on, guys, these are cool looking figures. Backed it, waited. I was like, okay, well, I guess that's the reason for me to maybe start a channel and talk about things more. Like, part of it is I wanted to talk Masterverse because at the time, honestly, there wasn't enough love for that either. There was a lot of work to talk. I was like, hey, let's
not a lot of Masterverse.
And so these guys were there too. Let me grab more. Sci-fi, let's talk. Can you still hear me while I'm away from the mic? No? All right. Let's talk about the sci-fi of it all. So what we find in just the first couple of episodes is that humanity, we don't know if it's exactly our humans or some other version of humanity, but let's just say these human-like beings got irresponsible and essentially destroy their planet over development technology or something. So they get in arcs, these giant spaceships. If this is feeling, familiar. That's what Adam and Highly over at Highly Articulated and I talk a lot about. It's very Battlestar Galactica. It's very Planet of the Apes. It's very Thundercats. But I would argue that it's not in a, hey, let's rip it off kind of way, but in a really fun, like, oh yeah, I see the touchstones, but this is something totally new. So they end up finding a planet, but the AI that's in charge of the ship is kind of like a little bit down on humanity, and it's like, man, we're going to give you this new place to live, but can you actually handle it, or are you going to ruin it again? On those arcs is also the sort of like the samples of the DNA of every life form from their old planet. And so what the arc decides, the AI decides, is that they're going to, through some magical technological, device, infuses the humans with the DNA of life forms, and this is a quote from the comic, that they think would be more in balance with this new planet, hopefully have a better shot at being able to survive and thrive. And that's where we get these guys.
Right.
So we start following the story of Pale, and that I won't spoil for you. If you want, read the comics at spirotoys.com or check out bricksomething.com. It'll take you can look for the AWOC talk videos where we break down the lore, and I've done even some sort of like just in an effort to try and popularize the comic, try to do some sort of like little mini animated versions of the comics with voice acting and stuff. I use acting loosely. And yeah, man, the story's there, but the toys are here too. So this is Tanger, for example. This is a repaint of this figure that was in Wave 2, but this was specifically done for PowerCon. Given its Masters of the Universe roots, you're probably thinking, man, this guy looks familiar. He's a tribute figure, right?
Yep.
He's a Beastman tribute figure. Let's see. They size really well with your Masterverse. That's what I use them alongside. I tend to collect in the larger side of 112, more like 110. So Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions. Here you go. Zezre's Fight for Glory you've got going on here. You've got some Masterverse going on here. That's a little awkward. This is after I was talking about not being creepy with women. Cosmic Legions.
Right.
So AWOC. I mean, I don't know. Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Like, if you've been in 80s cartoons, you'll look at these things, you'll handle these things and go, man, like they feel familiar, but they're just like gloriously new. Let me show you one more, just give you a little bit more of a sort of what I've got on hand.
And that tribute figure is the one I said looks like he could smash Beastman in the ground. Freaking
Right.
He does. He's kind of thick there.
I think I commented on
He's a
Brett's
thick, solid figure. Getting to see him in person and just the weight of the package that Tanger comes in, it was like, wow, this is a big boy in here. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a size difference, you know.
No, it's a good one though, man.
And this is the Revelation one. He tends to run a little smaller than your new Eternia version.
Yeah, the new
There's a couple
Eternia
of more.
beast.
We've
I
got.
love these figures.
Take care, Susu.
Hey, Bill.
Yo.
I know you tend to do like the awesome sort of animated little breaks.
Right.
I'm trying to think. Hold on, let me just see how long it is, because the thing that I did for that really kind of introduces the story, I think it's like 2 minutes.
That's fine. If you can show it through your your stream there,
Yeah,
we'll be glad
or I'll
to
send
let
it to you to share her.
Okay, all right. You know how to do that.
I'll put it in the private chat.
You can put a link to the private chat, and I'll see what I can do with it. I might be able to do something with it quickly. I don't know. It depends.
Oh, otherwise I can do it. No, if it's here, I can do it pretty quickly. We're good. We're good.
I'm gonna give you the full solo layout here to do that while we sit here in the background and heckle it.
Oh, not me. No, just let's hide me real quick and let's go over
that
to
full share screen.
Oh, man.
Oh, I got you. You're gonna put it up there and let me share it. I got you.
Yeah.
Certainly do that.
You don't want to see me. All right, here we go. It's there.
We'll put that up on the stage there, and
we good? All right, here we go.
Yeah, that should work.
This will
right
give
there.
you this will give you a sense of the story if it plays well. Audio good?
I don't hear anything yet.
You don't hear anything?
No.
Make sure when you share it that there should be like a checkbox for share audio.
On me?
Yeah, from your
On
end
my
when you do the
end.
share screen.
Stop sharing. I don't see any of that. So I will put it in the private chat, and if you just want to play it from YouTube, go for it.
What I'm going to do is see how long that is first.
It's 3 minutes.
All right, you guys, bear with me here just a second. I'm going to try to see if I can grab that in a special way here.
Okay, you grab while I'll talk people through it. Sorry, Shaitan's Hammer, if this is way more information than you were bargaining for, friend. But Allison Troy, who was
getting exactly what he wants.
Okay. Allison Troy, who was on with you all last night, Bill, has a joke about mention AWOC, and I'll pop in like Beelzebub. So
It's
this
true.
is way it's true. Look. And by the way, I do not receive any kind of paycheck, and I paid for all of my AWOC
Yep.
figures, to be clear. These are the figures available right now, $35, your basic figures. This is going to be your hero. These photos are also by 1/6 shooter Trevor Williams, who does all the dope photos for Mythic Legions as well and Cosmic Legions. This is your villain, Kali. Classic, this is where I think people go, Planet of the Apes. I hear ya. It's there. If you're a child of the late 70s and 80s, like my folks that are here right now, these will feel familiar to you. But again, it harkens to, yes, the Thundercats. And I would just say, like, this is just good genre fiction is what it is, as well as like some ridiculously good toys. So you got...
That's one of the things I love about the line, Brick, is just that familiarity of it. Like you just feel like you can relate to it already, even though it's all new. Like these are all new, never been done before. I mean, aside from that, like you said, that smaller version that they came out with, but still, it's like there's just something so familiar about each one of these that you can have an instant relation to it without having seen anything else from it. It feels so familiar. And I think that definitely helps a lot with the appeal to these figures.
Yep. And then they're doing the whole thing with the headsets, so you can customize these. Their Kickstarter went so well, so fast that they basically ran out of tiers. So they threw together last minute and said, well, why don't we just do these kind of like basic bucks? And they kind of gave out these figures, or they offered these figures as well for $23. They don't have all the armor or weapons, but you can do all sorts of customizing. And that was where this sort of original Beastman tribute came from, the Fearal Beasties.
That was something that I wanted to touch on while a minute ago was the price point on these figures. Can you kind of give us an idea of what it costs to get them?
Yeah.
And what
$34.
What $34, which I think is probably for what you're getting here, and seeing as how it's an independent company, that's probably one of the best price points you're going to get for something like this.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the $34.99, sure, there's shipping and tax. Those are the realities of the world. But yeah, it's a small company. They're doing their thing. The level of detail on these, like when I look at, just in the store the other day, looking at what's available for around that price point, right? Sure, you can get like a Legends figure. Some of them are creeping up past 25 now.
Yep.
But see, there you go, Allison. She knows. See, I just say Allison 3 times and she pops up. So, yeah, I mean, 35 for a indie line with the level of like love that they're putting into these, and the I think everything, the accessories are great. The sort of like metallic paints on these things are fantastic. The armor sets, and I don't have anything to show you here, but all this is compatible. Jason designed these intentionally because he was liking some of the other figures that he was seeing. So he designed his line intentionally with the ability to take off this armor and put it on He-Man and Skeletor and take off the armor from there. You can even do some swaps I've seen people do with heads for like Marvel Legends, knowing that like customizers will do their thing with them. And then here you go. As I mentioned, the Kickstarter went so fast, they ran out of tiers. So they just said, hey, let's create what we're calling Primal Ancients, the basic figures. And those are $23. With keeping the collector in mind. And I love that they come in like a Barbie, a dollar store Barbie box, which I think is kind of hilarious. And that's all wave 1, wave 2. Currently, wave 3 is about to go out. And this was meant to be more of an army builder wave. And it was also in line with, so these are they're essentially repaints in different armors, but they were tied specifically to a partnership with Authority Figure Games. And they were trying to launch a full-on board game, tabletop game that you could play with your friends, with your figures, actually using your action figures. There's a whole rule set and what
that is
you need.
cool. That's genius.
Yep. Authority Figure is the ish, man. Like, so it's 2 brothers, Zach and Jeremy. So they've had this idea for a game, and they worked with Jason. They're like, hey man, like, could we do this as branded AWOC? And they did it. They demoed it at PowerCon. I want to say it was just last year. And they offered it here. The word is that it hasn't yet hit like the MOQ needed, and they're still going to try. But aside from trying the AWOC thing, because I saw your eyes light up, Bill, essentially the mechanics of the game is compatible with like really any toy, provided that, you know, someone's going to take the time to write the sort of like unique rule set and playability set for each character, because they're character specific. So for example, the figures in this wave, you've got, you know, dudes with swords that are a little bit faster, so that the agility is worked into a particular character type. The knight sort of type is worked in there. There's stuff in there for what do you call this, projectile weapons. There's stuff in there for the sort of these guys with the long staffs, and if you pose them in a particular way with a shield, like, again, you gain. So there's all this thought behind playing with your toys in a new way that they were trying to work into this. So my sense is, even if we don't hit the MOQ with Spiro's AWOC, Authority Figure is going to, like, you know, they'll continue and figure out a way to get this in people's hands, because I think it's really great. There's 80s commercials, style commercials they shot for each wave as well as the game. So it's like, you know, people playing around, sitting around with the game that I think you in particular, Bill, would appreciate, given the kinds of things that you've highlighted here.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, I've got the video queued up here.
Okay.
Ready to watch that. Now I'm going to let StreamYard show the video for us. So we're gonna have to be muted for this, but we'll watch the entirety of this video real quick.
Okay, before you hit that, so these are the comic books. Again, $2 for digital download. This little segment you're going to see is pretty quickly. I think it's like page 7 of this issue number 1 of this first 5-issue story arc that kind of gives you a sense of the universe, and also sets up our sort of hero's central journey and the need. And so, yeah, I think that's what you're about to see.
All right, here we go, folks.
Come closer, boy. It is time you learned about your people. This is not our world, and we didn't always look this way. In fact, our people fled our original world in order to avoid extinction. Our world was dying. We had extracted almost every last bit of life force from her, and in her dying act she sought to take us with her. But we were stubborn and resilient people, and had other plans.
Other plans? But how did we escape?
We were far more advanced in that era than we are today. In fact, we had cities of glass and steel that went on for as far as the eye could see, and giant metal floating ships to travel all along our planet and even to nearby worlds. We used these giant ships that we called arcs to transport our people and the sum of our knowledge to as many planets as we could to find new suitable homes for our people. The arcs had everything we would need to rebuild and make these new worlds our own, including the building block of plant and animal life we called DNA. We thought we had figured it all out. But something strange happened to our arc right before we reached our new home. Our ship began tearing itself apart and sent us crashing down onto the planet's surface. The the ship's artificial intelligence had watched us during the journey and had passed judgment on us. It remained in orbit and started altering us. The AI solution to our constant greed and fighting was to infuse us with the building blocks of life forms that lived in harmony with nature and would allow us to protect and nurture this new world. It shares our outward appearance, but not our minds and hearts. Deep down, the greed and anger of humanity still remained. And while most of us welcomed this new chance at life and redemption, there were many who refused. Their bodies began rejecting this transformation and started reverting back into our original human form.
Yeah.
Absolutely cool.
Sure.
He said so as well in the chat there. That was pretty damn cool. I like that. You got my
Nice.
interest up there, Brick. You did your job, buddy.
Thank you, my non-existent job. Yes. I hope you enjoyed the story of Mother Mika. But yes, I think yeah, man, like that there was a reason why I wanted to do that. Like I said, people maybe like I get it. We've got nostalgia brands. I love Masters of the Universe. I love G.I. Joe. I love Star Wars. And I would also love to see these new things happen that like maybe like riff off the things that we love, take it further. You saw the art. Like I'm a comic book kid too. Like look at these characters. I will just say that the things you see in this comic book, anything is up for grabs to potentially become a toy. And like if and when we get a cyborg werewolf fighting these guys, I check these guys here, man. It's like you've got this is the main character and this is his friend Atreyu the lion. Like wouldn't it be cool to have those in oops, wait, never mind. They're here. You can order them. But wait, there's more. No, you could totally order them. These are like it's so cool, man. Like if you can't tell, I geek out. Like I'm excited that these exist. There's something about this that hits like the Disney kid in me to a certain extent. Like, come on, if this isn't like the Lion King, like of your nightmares, getting ready to chase you with knives, like those hyenas or so, and then this just, this is the Masters of the Universe vibes for me. It's like got that barbarian thing, but like it's Thundercats, of course. I think this figure in particular reminds me of Craig from Toy Anxiety, but that's just me. So like there's a lot of good stuff. And I'll tell you right now, I have had a chance to sort of see what else is in the wings. And some of them I think is included in the beginning of that intro, the video. Like there's a rabbit coming. There definitely are women coming. Like it's taken them about 5 waves, but women are coming because as you've seen,
the next wave, right?
Yep. As you've seen in the video, in the comic book, like, you've got some awesome characters like across the board. That's the other thing that I think Jason can do now in 2023 that maybe some of our the folks who made stuff in the 70s and 80s couldn't, is like, or didn't, was really think about like, how do we bring everybody to the table to enjoy this line, right? I don't know.
It's like a homage to several different toy lines and several different television shows, movies, what have you, kind of all coming together in its own unique storyline that 100%. Is reminiscent of what it is an homage to, and it's just wonderful.
Yeah, and if you saw, I'm sure just in that snippet, like I think episode 1, we went through that first episode, that first issue, and we're like naming, just Adam and I riffing, and I only cut in maybe 5 minutes of that conversation, but we went on and on about like, oh yeah, there's Terminator in there. Oh yeah, there's Buffy the Vampire Slayer in there. Oh yeah, there's Battlestar Galactica. Like there was just all these like really, really cool things in there. I don't know. This is the main villain, Kali, Wave 1, beautiful gold armor. I just put a short of him up turning on my channel where I love it because he's kind of a sinister dude. So I put him with like a knife behind his back, all looking chill from the front, and then you turn around, you realize he's got a knife waiting to spring on you. These are the builder characters, or this is the builder sort of customizer game. Fully, no weapons or accessories for $22, but you get the body to kind of do with what you will. Same with this one, right? To customize, you can see. I mean, I've got them posed up a little, so the flexibility is on point. This is one of my favorites, meant to be just sort of a unnamed army character, the Horrid Ravager. But we've got dope butterfly here. Cross over. We've got. And I appreciate this opportunity, Bill. Like you could do the swinging. You can do the whatever, the two-handed sword handling. You can swing. You've got. They're great. And with a little work, this is perfect. You can put them in the hot tub, loosen their joints. You can loosen their joints a little, and you can pop and swap these body parts, switch them out for other figures. Like they're there. Here, real quick, let me show you this. Right now, you've got a naked ape. But some of this torsos, obviously, like this has armor on it. This can be removed. These can be removed. They're fun. And, in this day and age.
And now I understand there's like weapons packs and maybe armor packs so that you can buy different weapons and armor to swap out with the figures that you've bought. So, I mean, if you're a customizer like I am, there you go. Check it out, folks. And that container looks very familiar there. You can buy those at Walmart and what have you. But yeah, so, I mean, you can do all sorts of stuff with it. I love those swords. They're beautiful. Beautiful.
This one? Yep. They work, pretty standard. Like, I will say the diameter might be a little bit bigger than you're used to. So be forewarned. I think in a Masterverse hand, it might, or an Origins hand, it might push it up a little bit, but
yeah, Origins,
cool.
Origins, they're a bit big for, but the cool part about that is the Masterverse hands still scale well with Origins. So if you wanted to buy some of these weapons packs, use them with your Origins or Masterverse, you just got to pop out your Origins hands to Masterverse hands, and they accommodate the size of these weapons well.
I mean, I just dropped Kali to the floor, and he's not broken.
Right.
So, yeah, these fit perfect. These are like, these might even be loose. No, because this guy's got big old hands.
Right.
And he's ready to lead his fellow beast men into battle.
He works so well with this. Oh, man.
It's not, perfect color matching, but
it's the creamsicle cult.
Yeah, and so again, just to lean into the sci-fi sword and sorcery, yes, it's true. While you've got people fighting with your swords, you got people fighting with these really cool sci-fi looking armaments as well. So anyways, thank you for the opportunity to shill for a company that pays me nothing.
Worth it.
Appreciate you coming in and doing that for us, Brick. And as you can hear, the ducks are being fed, which means that it's almost time for us to go for today. So it became an Animal Warriors of the Kingdom show here towards the end, which I don't mind at all, and I hope everyone enjoyed getting a chance to get your toe in the water on something that I think is wonderful. So thank you, Brick Something, for being here. Please support Brick Something on his YouTube channel and his Instagram. Go and check out Ostradamus Toys and check out Cobweb Collector. Check their channels out. They also have Instagrams. And of course, you can always support me over on Patreon and become a member of my channel here. And in the meantime, I want everyone to have a good journey.
Special thanks to the channel supporters. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like, subscribe, and share the video.